most of these wins are set in stone. The one I have squared for wins are set in stone except for one game. I reserve the right to change my mind for one of the game, and since I want to be right about the Titans, the amount of games they win, I can also change any of the games I have picked for them losing, any of those to win, since I want it to match the amount of games I have picked for the Titans winning this season. Start with the first game at Browns. Browns are an improved team. Win still because Mayfield has not started a full season. Because he has not started a full season, he's still going to have the growing pains. Mariota has more experience, and Mariota is going to make more big plays than Mayfield, and Mayfield is still going to make the typical growing pains mistakes, which is just too much for the Browns to overcome. Along with Titans, obviously, when they win the turnover battle, Mariota makes less mistakes than Mayfield, and both reasons why the Titans are able to win this challenging, decent, close game in Cleveland versus an improved, to be taken seriously, decent Browns team that I expect to actually make, and I actually picked to make the playoffs as a wild card, 6th seed to be exact. Titans win that game by like 7 points or less. Then next one is the Colts. It was really win. Titans are playing at it's their home opener, and they're playing, and Brissett is taking over for Luck since Luck retired, and expect this to be, as usual, a great, exciting, close game. The Titans are able to win because Brissett is still having his growing pains since he hasn't started 16 full NFL games, so Mariota makes less mistakes than Brissett, and the Colts defense is not able to contain Henry from making the big plays in both the first half and the second half as far as running for the football. So the Titans are winning running game mainly with Henry, and Mariota is making more big plays than Brissett, and he's making less mistakes than Brissett. And Mariota is making more big plays than Brissett, along with less mistakes, along with Henry not contained, and a main reason with Henry not contained in both the first half and the second half why the Titans are winning time of possession, along with why Mariota is making more big plays than Brissett, besides just that experience factor. And Titans with winning time of possession and winning the running game and winning making more big play, and Mariota making more big plays than Brissett. And not just that, also Titans defense is able to get pressure. The rest of the defense is able to get pressure on Brissett in both the first half and the second half, making it challenging for him to lead the Colts to actually winning this game. Just too much for him to overcome, along with the fact that the Titans rest of the defense is able to get pressure on Brissett and force him to making mistakes. And the Titans win time. So obviously they're winning time possession. They are winning They're winning time possession. They're winning the running game, and they're also winning that turnover battle. Mainly because the Titans defense, the rest of the defense is able to force Brissett mostly to make mistakes. Enough mistakes that the Titans are going to win the turnover battle. The Titans win that great close game, which I'm going to see. Expect by 7 points. Third game, Jaguars loss. Jaguars finally most likely solve that they don't have an effective, reliable starting QB because Foles, the same QB that led the Eagles to playoff wins, including along with a Super Bowl win versus the Patriots, which included versus Brady, aka the GOAT. Expect this to be a exciting, close game like it usually is with the Titans and Jaguars, and Foles is able to make enough big plays in both the first half and the second half, finally able to get the Jaguars to defeat the Titans, since they haven't defeated the Titans since 2015. Yep, they haven't, if I recall right, they have not defeated the Titan. Correction, they haven't defeated the Titan. They haven't defeated the Titans since 2017. I know they've defeated the Titans in 2016 because the Jaguars demolished the Titans in a game that was freaking an embarrassment in Jacksonville. that the Jaguars made in Bears. So the Jaguars have not defeated the Titans since 2017, but I expect that to change, mainly because Foles is able to make enough big plays for the Jaguars in both the first half and in the second half, and that's just too much for the Titans to overcome. Because Foles is making big plays for the Jaguars in both the first half and the second half. At Falcons, win. Titans are able to win time of possession, mainly with Henry, because he isn't contained, and because he isn't contained, the main reason why the Titans are winning time of possession and keeping Ryan and Jones and the rest of the Falcons' offense arsenal on that sideline for a high amount of time, and Mariota is effective, only running when he has to, and has great protection. He's throwing the football and leading the Titans to gaining valuable yards and scoring more points than the Falcons, mainly because they're winning time of possession, and because they're winning time of possession, along with the running game, winning time of possession, winning the running game, and scoring more points, mainly because they're winning time of possession and winning the running game, along with moving the football, since they have more opportunities to use the football on offense, since they're winning time of possession. And the Titans defense, they're able to get pressure. The rest of the defense is able to get pressure enough on Ryan in both the first and the second half to actually win this pretty good, exciting, close game versus the Falcons, because Henry isn't contained. Mariota is making more big plays than Ryan. The Titans are winning time of possession. They are winning the running game, and Mariota isn't contained from making the big plays, and along with Henry, in both the first half and the second half, and that's just too much for the Falcons to overcome. Along with the Titans' defense being rested, they're able to get pressure on Ryan enough times in both the first half and the second half, and able to create those turnovers to win the turnover battle. Bills win. The Titans are able to protect the football. They do a better job at protecting the football in this game, and they make less mistakes than the Bills. And Allen's still having his growing pains, because I don't think he'll still have growing pains. If not, Bills are not able to contain Henry for the entire game. Because they're not able to contain him for the entire game, the Titans are winning time of possession. They're winning the running game. Mariota is effective, only running when he has to. Mostly he's throwing the football. The Titans are winning time of possession. The Titans are moving the football, and they're scoring more points than the Bills. And the Titans' rested defense is getting pressure on Allen, and Allen is not able to make enough big plays for the Bills in both the first half and the second half for the the Bills to win a decent close game. It's too much for Allen to overcome, along with the fact that Henry is not contained, and because Henry is not contained, running for more than 90 yards, along with the crowd is thundering, and it's not contained in both is not mostly silent in both the first half and the second half. That's just, all those are issues that's just too much for the Bills to overcome in this game in Nashville, which is why the Titans defeat the Bills in a decent close game. At Broncos, loss. Flacco's going to have a great game for passing. Because he has a great game for passing and only running when he has to, because he has great protection for most of the game. Because he has great protection for most of the game, he's going to have a great day passing, and he makes great plays for the Broncos, mainly with throwing in both the first half and the second half. So even the Titans are able to remain in this game in one of the most challenging stadiums to win in the NFL. It's not going to matter, because Flacco, he has great protection both the first half and the second half, and has a great game throwing the football, mainly because he has great protection. Just makes too many big plays in both the first half and the second half. Broncos win that game, no doubt. Chargers are able to contain Henry in the first half, but Henry continues to make the Chargers defense tired, and then he takes advantage in the second half. He has those great long runs, and the Titans are winning time of possession slightly more, mainly because of that, along with Mariota is able to make more big plays than Rivers, because the Titans offense is on the field more, so they're winning the running game, they're winning time of possession, and the Titans' rested defense is able to be effective to get pressure enough on Rivers in both the first half and the second half. So in a great game, the Titans are able to defeat the Chargers mainly for those reasons, along with Mariota. He's not going to be running a high amount, but again, he's only going to be running when he has to, but mostly he's going to be throwing the football with how the Titans are moving the football. And the thundering crowd is going to screw up with the Chargers' offense and their defense, and that's just going to be too much for the Chargers to overcome, losing this great close game. Bucks expect this to be a good, decent close game, but Titans defense is still able to get pressure on Winston and the Bucks offense, and that's just going to be too much for the Buccaneers to overcome, along with the thundering crowd, because the Titans, they make less mistakes, including on offense, than the Bucks. They win the turnover battle, and Henry is not contained for the entire game. He still has the big runs needed for the Titans to win this game. And the Titans win the turnover battle, they win the running game, and they win time of possession. And the thundering crowd isn't something the Buccaneers can keep silent keep silent for most of the game, which is just too much for the Buccaneers to overcome, because the Buccaneers make more mistakes than the Titans, including the fact that the Titans are winning the turnover battle, winning the run game, and winning time of possession. Panthers lost. I expect Newton to be back for this game, and since he is going to be back, expect him to have great protection, and he's going to be running for more than 80 yards and throwing for more than 140 yards, and he's going to be making great plays for the Panthers in both the first half and the second half. And because he is making those great plays for the Panthers in both the first half and the second half, that's just too much for the Titans to overcome, along with the thundering crowd, even if the Titans are able to remain in this game in Carolina. Loss. Chiefs win. Chiefs defense is going to be able to contain Henry from having those long runs of 15 yards or higher in the first half, but he's going to continue to make the Chiefs defense tired. Mariota is going to be effective as a game manager, mainly just moving the football and not trying to force any passes, only running when he has to and throwing the football, but not forcing the ball into coverage of where it shouldn't be. And because the Titans are winning time of possession, mostly including with Henry running the football, including having those big runs in the second half. Mahomes and Kelsey and the rest of the Chiefs, great offense is on. The Titans are winning time of possession. This is the best offense. Sometimes the best defense is a good offense, and the Titans, that's what the Titans use, with Henry making the defense tired and having those great long runs in the second half, and Mariota being effective as a game manager, not mainly throwing the football and only running when he has to. And Mariota, since the Titans are winning time of possession and they're winning the running game, and Mariota is able to make more big plays than Mahomes, mainly because he's on the field more, along with Henry's able to make more big plays. Then McCoy. And the Titans' rested defense is able to get pressure on Mahomes, mainly enough times to win this game in both the first half and the second half, and force him to make critical mistakes. And the Titans are able to win the turnover battle. And the Titans win this great, challenging, exciting, close game. Nothing to review there. Jaguars. Henry just looks great in this game because the Titans' offense plays, O-line plays, they have great blocking, and Henry has great long runs in both the first half and the second half. And also, Titans defense just gets after Foles and forces him to make mistakes. So the Titans are winning time of possession mainly because Henry is having a great game with running, both the first half and the second half. And Titans defense is getting after Foles, forcing him to make mistakes. So the Titans are winning the turnover battle, and they're also winning the running game. And since Foles, since the Titans are winning time of possession and they're winning the running game and they're winning the turnover battle, that's just too much for Foles to overcome because the Jaguars' offense is on the field way more than just way more. The Titans are winning time of possession, and by that I mean they're winning time of possession by 5 minutes or higher. And that's just and makes it harder, makes it more challenging for Foles to be effective in both the first half and the second half enough for the Jaguars can't win this game. Mainly for those reasons, along with the Titans winning time of possession, winning the running game, and winning time of possession, running game, and the turnover battle. So the Titans win a decent, close, exciting game at Colts. Expect this. It's going to be a decent, close, challenging game, but again, Henry is contained. He's contained in the first half, him having those long runs, but then in the second half, because in the first half he weird the defense down, he has those great long runs in the second half. And Titans defense being rested, they're able to force Brissett to make critical mistakes and get pressure on him enough times, mostly in the second half. And Titans win time of possession, mainly with Henry running. They win the running game, and they also win that turnover battle. And also, Mariota is able to make more. He makes less mistakes than Brissett. All reasons why the Titans are able to win a decent, close game in Indianapolis versus the Colts. Because having won the one time of possession, won the running game, and won the turnover battle, and won, along with Mariota outplaying Brissett, making more big plays and making less mistakes than him. At Raiders, expect this to be, as usual, a loss for Carr and the Raiders, because even if the Titans are able to remain in this game, Carr makes typically makes a high amount of great or big plays in the first half. He makes a high amount of great plays in the second half, along with the Raiders' offense, and that's just too much for the Titans to overcome, even though they've been able to keep the games close against Carr and the Raiders. He just makes he makes a high amount of big plays in the first half. He makes a high amount of great plays or big plays the second half, and as usual, the Titans aren't able to get those needed stops when needed most. And I expect that just to continue when they play at the Raiders, which is a challenging stadium to win at. Carr and the Raiders offense just makes too many great plays, including in the second half, and Titans defense is able to get off the field enough times to win this game. Texans win. Titans have a great game. Henry has a great game because Titans O-line is doing a great job at blocking, and Henry's taking advantage. He looks great. He plays great with running in the first half. He plays great with running in the second half, making the Texans defense frustrated and tired because he continues to have those long runs. So the Titans are winning the running game. They are winning time of possession, mainly also because of Henry's great long run. Because of winning the running game, the Titans are also able to get pressure. The Titans' rested defense is able to get pressure on Watson in both the first half and the second half, but Watson is able to make enough big plays to keep the Texans to make this a great close game like it usually is, but not able to make enough big plays because the Titans' defense gets enough pressure on Watson in both the first half and the second half, and able to create those turnovers. Titans win the turnover battle. They win the running game. They win time of possession. And Mariota plays effective. He's not trying to run for more than 100 yards for the Texans. He's just going to run when he has to, but he's mostly passing the football. And Mariota makes less mistakes than Watson. Because he makes less mistakes than Watson, all those main reasons why the Titans win this expect to be a great close game versus the Texans, for all the reasons that I mentioned. Saints, this is going to be just like that Patriots game last year, a game that they're not expected to win at all, except it's really late in the season. Except I don't expect the Titans are not going to win this game easily by 24 points and dominate from start to finish. Expect this to be an exciting, great close game, pretty much similar to what they had with the Rams in the 2017 season, except unlike that game, they're going to make the great plays in both the first half and the second half to win, to beat a great close game, a team that is a Super Bowl contender. Mainly because Henry, he'll be contained in the first half, as far as having he won't be contained in the first half, but he'll continue to be effective, getting the runs to keep the Titans drives alive both the first half and the second half. So Titans are winning the running game mainly with Henry, because even if he isn't getting the big runs in both the first half and the second half, he's still effective with moving the chains. The Titans are winning time of possession because Henry is playing pretty good, and he's also having those great long runs, not for both the first half and the second half, but still having great long runs when the Titans need it most, and still having good runs to keep the Titans, they're winning time of possession, they're moving the football. They're winning the running game, they're winning time of possession, and because they're winning time of possession, the Titans' defense is rested, and they're able to get pressure on Breeze, Kamara, and the rest of the Saints offense for both the first half and the second half, for enough times for the Titans to win this great, exciting, close, high-scoring game of expected to be like 27-34, something of that range. That the Titans are able to win for those reasons, along with Mariota. He is not trying to run for more than over 100 yards for the Saints. He's just going to mostly be passing the football, be effective as far as not throwing, trying to force the ball into coverage, and then running when he has to. The Titans, they're just making more big plays, whether it's Mariota throwing, Mariota running when he has to, Henry running. They're just making more big plays than the Saints offense. The Saints are able to make enough great plays to keep the game close, including with Kamara running and Kamara receiving if he does, which likely I expect he will, along with Breeze passing the football. But again, Titans are able to make more big plays than the Saints. Titans offense is able to make more big plays than the Saints offense, and because they're winning time of possession, they are winning the running game. Not by a high amount, but they are still winning the running game, and they are making more big plays on offense, and their rested defense is able to be effective, getting pressure on Breeze in both the first and in the second half, enough times for them to win this game. At Texans, I expect the Titans already have the Division won before when this game is played, so they won't be using their starters, and the Texans just play great from start to finish, making big plays in both the first half with both running and passing, and in the second half, and they win easily by more than 16 points, since the Titans, in a game where the Titans are not using most of their starters, because they're not able to, because they've already won their division and they're not able to move up in as far as seeding. And now I'll be going to get my charger because I don't want my phone to die on me, and I still have some other predictions for the Titans they have to make. These are set in stone. These are ones I'm not going to change. My 6 predictions for the Titans of what they'll accomplish this season. Titans running back Derrick Henry runs for more than 1,160 yards and more than 18 touchdowns. I'm highly optimistic that he's going to accomplish that because he did contact Eddie George before the Thursday night football game when the Titans played the Jaguars, and he asked him for advice because he knew he was in danger, likely going to lose his job, so he had to start playing great for the Titans. And Eddie George gave him great advice about stop trying to make every run a great long run. Just be an effective runner of gaining valuable yards, making the defense tired because of gaining valuable yards, moving the chains and getting first downs, keeping drives alive, making the defense tired and making it more likely that he can get making it more likely that he'll get the great long run, including for a touchdown, because the defense continues to wear the defense down and making them tired, and then take advantage of running a long running a long run for a touchdown, or instead of trying to make every run a great long run for a touchdown. And that was shown to be valuable advice, because he had a great game against the Jaguars running for more than 205 yards and, if I recall, 4 touchdowns. And then showing that was not a fluke, he continued to run for a high amount of yards for the rest of the final month of the 2018 NFL season. He was the number 1 NFL rusher for the final month of the 2018 NFL season. So that's why I'm highly confident that this is the year that Henry has a great or terrific season of running for more than 1,160 yards and more than 18 touchdowns. Number 2, Titans quarterback Mariota throws for more than 27 touchdowns. This is Mariota's make or break year, so that's why I'm confident that in year 2 of Vrabel that he breaks out and has a great season, throwing for more than 27 touchdowns, which would exceed what he did in his career best in 2016, if I recall, that he threw for 26 touchdowns, and he hasn't been able to tie that or exceed that, but except I'm confident in the make or break year, since this is the final year of his contract, he's able to throw for more than 27 touchdowns, which would also be in the second year of the Vrabel system. Number 3, the Titans defense has more than 16 turnovers. Again, this is year 2 of Vrabel. I expect them to have more turnover. I'm predicting them to have more turnovers. And why exactly I'm predicting that they didn't have a high amount of turnovers for 9-17. They are 9-17, but they did not have a high amount of turnovers last season. So I'm expecting them to have more than 16 turnovers this season. And again, in year 2 of Vrabel, that's my prediction. Number 4. Titans quarterback Mariota earns a new contract because he leads the Titans to double-digit for wins, and the Titans win the AFC South. The last time the Titans won the AFC South was 2008, and it was also the last time the Titans had double-digit wins. They were 13-3. I don't know. The Titans are not they're not going to be a 13-3 team, but it is still achievable for the Titans to have double-digit wins and to win the AFC South this season, including since Andrew Luck retired. So now the Colts are going to have those growing pains with Brissett that has not started 16 NFL games, so he's going to have his growing pains. I mean, that still leaves the Jaguars and Texans, but it's still achievable because Jaguars have improved because they most likely solved that quarterback problem now with Foles, and Texans have pretty much close to a complete team, both for the offense and defense. Still expect I'm predicting the Titans to win. Mariota earns his new contract because he leads the Titans to double digits for wins, which would mean he'd be playing in 10 games or more. And the Titans win the AFC South. And the Titans defeat more than 2 playoff teams in the regular season. Now, why am I predicting? The Titans they had more wins than any other team first playoff teams last season, except that didn't matter because they still missed the playoffs. Well, I expect in year 2, Vrabel showed that was not a fluke when they have more than 2 playoff teams. They defeat more than 2 playoff teams in the regular season, except the difference is they win more games and they make the playoffs. So again, they have that great feat, except this time they just don't have that great feat. They also make the playoffs because of having won the AFC South and winning more games. And also, I have the Titans predicted to win the AFC South with an 11-5 record, and finishing second would be, I have in the AFC South, I think it's and also making the wild card is the Texans, 10-6. Finishing second, except they're the wild card. They're a 5th seed, and they're a wild card team. And And I also have the Jaguars at 9-7, so I expect to be 75% winning records again in the AFC South. And number 6, these are my this is playoff predictions for the Titans. Since I have the Titans as a second seed, 11-5, and the Chiefs are the number 1 seed, 12-4. Titans have a first round bye, and they play the third seed Ravens, aka the former Browns, defeat the expansion Browns in a wild card game in Baltimore, which might be a decent game. And then the Ravens go on the road. They play the Titans, and Titans in a great, exciting, close game are able to defeat the Ravens in what I expect a game with a lot of offense, meaning more than 50 points combined. More than 50 points combined, the Titans are able to win that home playoff game, which they haven't done in a long freaking time, and they haven't hosted a home playoff game in a long freaking time. So I expect that to change when they defeat the Ravens in the second round, and don't have them going to the Super Bowl. I have them losing in the third round versus the Chiefs in Kansas City, mainly for obvious reasons, because I expect Mahomes, he's just going to have making great plays in both the first half and the second half. Henry's contained for most of that entire game, and Chiefs, they're making sure that this doesn't come down to some terrible calls. So they score a high amount of points in the first half. They score a high amount of points in the second half, and they continue to make those great plays, mainly with their offense in both the first half and the second half. So it's not going to come down to overtime or having to win in overtime, or coming down to a terrible call that a reason why they aren't able to win that game. They're just able to make great plays in both the first half and the second half, and able to move away from the Titans early in that game and continue to keep the far distance away from the Titans. Even if they're Titans, don't expect them to just quit, but don't expect them to make enough big plays to win versus a terrific Chiefs team that in year 2 of Mahomes that I am predicting, have them picked to win the Super Bowl versus the Rams. So Chiefs just make great plays in both the first half and the second half, and that's just too much for the Titans to overcome. And that would be achieving greatness for Vrabel. He wants to make the Titans great and from good to great this season. Since they've been good last season, he wants to take a proven good team and make them great this season. That's what would be great. That is what I am putting down as criteria for great. I don't know what his criteria is, but I would assume that he would agree that would be greatness. Because again, the Titans have not been in an AFC Championship game since the 2002 season, which was the same season the Buccaneers won their Super Bowl, and they haven't won a home playoffs game also since that same season when they defeated the Steelers in the second round playoffs game in the 2002 season. So I would say both of those are achieving greatness, since Titans haven't had that in a long amount of freaking time. And AFC Championship game is it's not the Super Bowl, but that's one game away from the Super Bowl. Those are all my predictions for the Tennessee Titans, and season is going to be starting soon, and I can't wait to watch it. It's going to be exciting, unique. Expected to be pretty good or a great season for the Tennessee Titans. And those are all my predictions.